Okay, today on the workbench, which we have here, is a MAGNOR robot. This was sold by Cragstan. It was made in Hong Kong around 1969, and its unique feature was that there's a helmet that you put on top of the head. The top of the head is down here, and when you do, the helmet has a magnet in it, and it turns the switch on, which turns the robot on. Then there's a flashing light and clicking sound, and there's a little lever that comes down. These wheels drive the thing. They're concentric, so it wobbles as it moves. But there's a lever that comes down on a cam every now and then, so after it's gone forward for a while, it'll turn to the left, then go for a little while, and then turn to the left. So it kind of does a square movement. And sent to me for running issues. Of course, it has, being on its age, it had the standard grease buildup on the brushes and the motor, so the motor wasn't running very well. But the main problem was that solder connection. You see right there, there's red wire, and that's was the main power to the frame, which has to do with the light flashing, and the main power to the motor. And it was a factory cold connection that over the years became intermittent. The battery door was also missing this latch piece. So 3D printed this latch piece so that when the battery door is put on, it can be locked into position. And I think I'll put you on the tripod now and we'll do some assembly work. We'll see how that goes. I don't know how much the camera will be able to catch or how far we'll get with it. Good news about the MAGNOR is a lot of it is held together with screws, but they're just ordinary old wood screws, and I've worked on a few of these and that's what they all were, so that was what they used at the factory. So this yellow part just sits there like so. Here's a view of the bottom. It says Cragstan. You can see the little lever that is going to protrude to lift this wheel off the ground. Right now it's all the way up in there, and the wheels, like I say, are concentric, so when it walks it kind of wobbles, or when it rolls, whichever way you want to look at it. And let's see, what do we want to put together first? I think the back. Now, what was the back and what was the front? I think this was the back. Like that. Pretty sure. Not 100%, but pretty sure. Can't really hold the head in place or the arms. They get sandwiched in. But I need to start this body part in because the posts, if I screw the back down, there's some screws from the bottom in first, I won't be able to put this piece in because this has to tip up and in and go down. So I kind of have to work all of this together here for a moment. I'm getting the wires out of the way, I hope, so we don't break anything. The red wire keeps wanting to get right in the path of where I know a screw's going to go. Okay. I got these wires that are fighting me here. Let's get these. No, you're not seeing anything interesting. My point of view would be a much better angle for the camera, but then if the camera was here where I'm at, I wouldn't be able to see. So just hang on here a minute. We're gonna get this thing together to the point where you can see a little bit of what's going on. Just trying to make sure I'm not pinching any wires. And I think I'm okay. Okay, so now we're going to try to put some of the screws into the bottom. Like I say, they're just very old school wood screws. And like I say, I've worked on a few of these through the years, and they've all had this kind of screw, so it is the original screw. It's just not that impressive. Now that one didn't feel like it went into anything. We'll see if it drops out we may have to come up with a different screw for that position. They're also slotted, so it can be a little bit of work to get the screwdriver to find the slot when it's buried way down deep inside this hole. Don't want to over tighten it, because like I say, it's just a wood screw going into very old plastic. Okay. Those all felt reassuring. This one, not so much. And there it is. So I do have a spare screw here that's not a wood screw that I brought just in case there was a problem like this. It's a little bit fatter, and it's a Phillips head, so I can get a little bit more torque on it. But again, I don't want to split anything out. There we go. Okay. So now I think before I put the arms and the head on and put the 4 screws that hold the 2 body halves together, I probably should put some batteries in there and make sure that everything is still running and that I haven't pinched any wires off. So I got the 2 C cells in there, got the helmet. Okay, so we're still good to go. So let's get these out of there. Maybe lift this up so you can get a little bit better view. Because now I've got to get the arms in there. You can see they're tabbed, so the body halves will just pinch onto those. May have to loosen the screws up on the bottom if I can't get these in. No, I can get them in. Put that one on. This must have been a very inexpensive toy at the time when they were all plastic like this, and it's actually very surprising to ever find these because of this brittle type plastic. I mean, the fact that it survived some kid playing with it at all is quite amazing. Okay, so now we'll put these screws in, and they're back to just being the flat ones. That one didn't feel real tight. So in the end, that one might get replaced too. That one seemed to snug up pretty much. These are down in the battery box, so they're a little bit harder to get into position. Okay. Again, I didn't want to over tighten it, but it didn't feel super tight. Okay, this one says battery goes in that way, battery goes in that way, the battery door goes like that, and then slide that down to lock the door on. Then all right, we're going to have to move ourselves down to the floor to find out what this thing looks like when it's working. So let's redirect ourselves maybe to this area. Might be able to get out of the way here. Maybe. Let's see. It'd be nice if you had a camera operator. I don't see that in the camera. Oh, okay, I can see that. I think though it's going to turn to the left, so let's get a little bit more angle that way. And let's start over here. Oh! So, that's your action. The cutting on and off is because the hat's rattling around, so the magnet is kind of cutting in and out. But There it is. MAGNOR. Sold by Cragstan. I believe that's down here on the bottom somewhere. Yeah. Upside down, but you can tell. Around 1969, thereabouts.